Yeah, I just want to make a quick little video talking about my biggest regret as a car person, car guy. I don't really care what you call it. Um, Basically, in like 2018, 2019, when I first got my Eclipse, which is, the reason I even made this YouTube channel, but I just got the car. My dad bought me it. I didn't really know too much about cars. When I got the car though and started driving it and loving it, I started, wanting to learn more about the car, more about Mitsubishi. Eventually, I learned about the 3000 GT and the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. And that's the car, that's what I'm going to talk about. Back in the day, 2019, 2020, before COVID, when I was looking at these cars, I was finding them for in the low $20,000 price range for Evos with less than 100,000 miles, which that's kind of where I was looking at. I was looking at a used. I was looking for used. There was like one specifically that I remember. It was in like Sacramento. It had about 100,000 miles. It was black MR because I wanted the MR edition. I don't know how to drive a stick, and I didn't care. So I didn't want to learn. I had done my research, and I learned that the car is not the most reliable, and because of the dual clutch transmission, when something goes bad, if it goes bad, it's expensive to fix, yada yada. And so I never pulled the trigger. I didn't buy the car. I thought, you know what, I'll just save up, I'll get it eventually. After COVID, during COVID, freaking the car jumped up to like $30,000. And yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's ridiculous. Now I don't even think I'm gonna get it. And even though I still wanted it, to make things worse, life not worse, but it just life happens. So I had to move out of my parents' house. So now I had to start paying rent by myself. Not by myself, but I had to start paying rent, bills and stuff. And the biggest regret is because those years, like if I would have bought it in 2018, 2019, I would have done, like I think like probably like a 3 year loan deal, whatever the fuck. And after like 3 years of paying it off, I would have freaking been able to pay it off before I even had to move out. And I would have still been spending more money on insurance and stuff. And that's a lie. My dad would have paid my insurance because he would pay my insurance for my Eclipse when I lived with him. Okay, so yeah, I really missed out on a lot, and that is my biggest regret because even if now, like if I had the car now, the Evo, and something did happen to it finally, or even back then, I would have had money to fix it, or I would have just stored it away, like not used it until I had the money to fix it. And same with today, like now that I have a spot, or like even when I back then, like I had when I didn't have the spot, if my own crib, holy sh. Okay. If I would have bought the car, paid it all off, and when I still live with my parents, by the time I moved out, which was 2023, I would have been paid the car off by then. Even if I had a late, if I bought it like early 2020, the latest, and yeah, I think I'm pretty sure the interest rates weren't even as as bad as they are nowadays. So literally, like I would have been set. Um, yeah, okay. Now I remember what I was gonna say. If something happened to my car, to that Evo, and I had it after I moved out, I could do the same thing where I just put it in my parking spot, don't touch it, use my second car because I have a second car now. I would have always gotten a second car beater, the Civic, and yeah, dude. Sorry for the video that paused in the background, but it's because I stuttered and I had to stop the video and gain my thoughts. But that's my biggest regret as a car guy. I feel like that also would have made potentially made me like way more of a car guy because something would have probably been broken with the Evo way more often than my Eclipse because my Eclipse nothing ever happens to it. I never even touch it. And yeah, let me know what your guys' biggest regret as a car guy is. And yeah, what do you think about the Evo? Also, just for some clarification, I am talking about the Evo MR from 2008 to like 2015, I think was the last year. Though that's the MR that I'm talking about because it had the dual clutch transmission. And I know that nowadays I can buy them for probably around 20K again, maybe 20, like low 20s again because the prices have dropped. But the thing is, I would have to now, pay it off, whereas I'm not living with my parents like how I used to, and I'm paying rent and bills. If it wasn't for that, I would consider buying it, but as of right now, I can't.